Okay, so this is a brief journey around the SQN mixer, and I'll start at the beginning. This is the chamber where the AA batteries to power the mixer go, 6 AA batteries. Very important to get them in the right way round. The top channel here, the batteries point downwards, so the negative end is facing out, and the bottom channel here, the positive end of the battery must be facing upwards. That pushes closed against this catch, and the mixer is powered by switching this switch here to the battery position. When it's powered, you should be able to see these small green LEDs on the meters should illuminate. They provide enough power when you're working at night in the dark just to illuminate those meters. If you want to check your battery power, there's a small button here marked BAT, and if you press it, the right-hand meter on the mixer registers the volts from the batteries. That's giving a reading at the moment of 8 volts on this scale at the bottom of the meter. And the mixer will operate down to about 4 volts. When you get down to about 4 volts, it's time to think about changing batteries while you can. The last thing you want is for the batteries to fail in the middle of a good take. If we look at the left-hand side of the mixer now, the output from the mixer is on this multi-way socket, and that's called the A output. The socket itself has a keyway in the inner ring, a small gap that lines up with the 12 o'clock position on the socket, and then it pushes in and it's released when you need to release it by pulling this collar back. It's a spring-loaded collar. This wire then carries the 2 outputs from the mixer to the camera via another multi-way plug and socket to these tails, giving you 2 inputs on XLRs to the camera, plus headphone feedback to the mixer so that you can actually monitor the return feed from the camera. And the normal procedure is for this feed to go into the camera at line level. To that effect, there's a very important switch on the underside of the mixer here that switches between line level, that's a high level of about 1 volt, and mic level, if we switch it downwards, which is of the order of a few millivolts. That's switching the output level of the mixer either to mic level or line level, coming out here and going to the camera. If we want to do a line-up with the camera to check levels, there's a button here, a small toggle switch on the extreme right of the mixer that switches to a T position. It's T for tone. It puts an oscillator, an internal oscillator in the mixer, switches on, and you have a line-up tone that registers 4 on these meters, but on the camera should be lined up to this position here that's actually 18 dBs below peak level, because this is a digital system and it requires safety headroom. The line-up is at -18 below peak. So the facilities the mixer gives, basically it's here to give you very flexible monitoring and the ability to mix up to 4 different sources. They might be microphones, or they might be line level sources of some sort, musical instruments, whatever. But usually microphones. And they plug in on these XLR sockets to the individual channels of the mixer. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Also on this side there's the output for headphones, that socket there, 1/4 inch jack socket with an adapter for mini jack. The headphone level control is this knurled knob here. That controls your headphone listening level. Nothing to do with the actual output level from the mixer. It's purely headphone listening level. And this small knurled control here is across the output of the mixer itself, the master output level. You shouldn't need to touch that, but it should be in a position where this red dot is lined up with this small mark on the body of the mixer. It sits in a small sort of indented position and should be left there. On the underside of the mixer, apart from this output level switch, you have channel 1 and channel 2 input switching at the top here. That gives you the ability to switch between 48 volt phantom mic input or a 200 ohm dynamic mic input. This particular mixer also has another system of powering a mic, 12 volt Tonada. Very unlikely you come across that. Most mixers in this position have a line level input. On the base of the underside of the mixer are 2 more input level controls for channels 3 and 4, and they are different. They offer different facilities to channels 1 and channels 2. And these provide the ability to switch between mic level and line level input, and also give you the option of attenuating the input, making it less sensitive, and introducing bass cut on that particular channel. So the main difference between channels 3 and 4 is that channels 3 and 4 and channels 1 and 2 is that channels 3 and 4 don't offer you phantom powering of the microphone. So if you're using a powered microphone, as our standard boom mic is, it should be plugged into either channel 1 or channel 2.